Welcome to the Think Fresh, Move Forward podcast. On this week's episode, we are talking about algorithms, the growth of algorithms in recent years and their impact on our daily lives, and some of the potentially dark consequences of algorithms. Let's jump into it. All right. So let's talk a little about algorithms.
Awesome.
And the potentially dark side of
for what?
algorithms.
The dark side.
Yeah.
In what
the
way?
Dark side of algorithms. So, obviously, algorithms exist in our day-to-day lives at this point. And for those who need context on what I'm talking about, you open your social media apps and you're immediately seeing only what the algorithm says you should see. When you open your health app, right, that algorithm is telling you to drink more water, exercise, right, monitors your vitals. And all of this is about what? Convenience, making our lives easier, making our lives better in some way. The algorithm is improving our lives.
Help me
improving our lives.
Optimize.
Help me understand this about algorithms, right? Okay, so my very limited understanding is that it is a pre-programmed set of decisions.
Yes.
Where like if this user is these things, this is where they fit into the algorithm, and that's what determines what we give them, or what is put in front of them.
Yeah,
that's pretty basic logic.
In fact, let me even take it on a more like basic scale of what an algorithm is, right? Our brain is constantly working through algorithms, right? Even back to, when we were monkeys in Africa and we're sitting in a tree.
I remember.
And we're looking at, right? So we're sitting in a tree and we see a bunch of bananas on the ground, right? And your brain, even the monkey's brain, right, is calculating the distance that it is from the bananas, calculating the lion that it sees over there, and the closing distance of the lion, right? The closing distance of the lion to the bananas, and whether I can get to the bananas and get back to the tree in safety in time.
That's wild. It's crazy that you talk about that. I was watching a video the other day that was that was talking about squirrels and how squirrels, when they're uncontrollably falling in the air, their brains lock onto the position that they do the predictive math in their head about where they're going to land, and it's right like 100% of the time.
That's an algorithm, right?
And so
yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
Well, it's technically not an algorithm because someone didn't code it.
No. It is an algorithm, right?
It's an algorithm. It's a set of steps.
It's nature's algorithm, right? And the reason I bring it back to the brain, right, is because what we're doing as human beings now in today's technological society, right, is we're taking parts of our brain that used to do those calculations, right, and basically outsourcing them to a device.
Like Gary V's teacher telling me I'm never going to have a calculator in my pocket.
Yeah, there you go, right?
So what you're telling me is I'm a cyborg.
Yeah, well, to some degree, right? That's what we're doing. We're leveraging technology.
That's what Elon Musk says.
There's already studies that show that people's ability to navigate on a base level, to like walk around and have a sense of direction, has been eroded by Google Maps in the last 15 years. Because you don't even need to like print off directions anymore, like MapQuest, right? And follow along and say,
take
up here,
left
make a right.
on the barn after the railroads, hit 615, go 3 miles.
You were for real paying it when you had to have the printed directions. You were for real paying attention to what all the roads were,
the name of the street, where you needed to turn, right?
And
not
if you
even
passed it or not, because you were just like
signs.
constantly, like you were on alert for exit numbers, right? And you're no longer on alert for exit numbers because there's this little lady that's going to scream at you right before you get there.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to ignore her anyway and just pass my exit.
If you get Waze, you can get Morgan Freeman to navigate for you.
Is that right?
You
can be the spokesperson.
Or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You can get custom people to do it for you.
Nice.
Yeah, I got one. My voice is on somebody who weighs, and I just scream the whole time. They're like, "What does this even mean?" I was like, "You'll figure it out." So another good aspect of it too is just like think of a Rubik's cube. How do you solve it? That's an algorithm. Up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right.
There you go.
That's an algorithm.
Yeah.
If I want all greens on one side, how do you solve
there's
that
an
for
equation to solve the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, that's an algorithm. That's what an algorithm is.
You're calculating all the variables, right? And those variables. And that's why I say the monkey and the banana example, because the monkey is calculating the distance they are from the banana, the distance the lion is from the bananas.
It's very complex.
How quickly they can get back, right? And animals do that, right? So we as human beings are constantly doing it in everything we do in our life. But when your parts of your brain aren't used, those neuro pathways deteriorate, right? Which means that you don't just magically get them back. You have to work that again to recreate that pathway.
Fun fact about the brain: do you know how much storage the brain has in terms of space? Like if you were to put it like on a,
I would love to know this.
You want to guess? Is it terabyte?
Oh,
That's
I don't
an
know.
awful little amount of information.
Trillions of terabytes. I don't know.
Couple zettabytes.
It's 2.5 petabytes. Not zettabyte. Zettabytes above that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that obviously that varies per person, but like
So that's
It varies per person. Some of us only have.
somebody have a
1/10 of that.
32 gig micro SD.
so it's 1,000 megabytes is 1 gigabyte. 1,000 gigabytes is 1 terabyte. 1,000 terabytes is 1 petabyte. So 2.5 petabytes. So you have 2,500 terabytes worth of storage.
Interesting.
There you go.
So don't save your information in 4K because
Won't have much space.
It goes pretty quick.
Yeah, and the point I make is this, right? Whenever given a choice as human beings, whether we want privacy or convenience, in every single scenario, we as a society, not as individuals necessarily, but as individuals, we're always making these kind of decisions every day. We have always chosen convenience over privacy.
Yeah,
every
because
single time.
It seems I don't think that we've been faced, or I don't think we've either faced the situation or have had it ingrained in our psyche that privacy equals safety.
Yeah,
or privacy
yeah,
equals anything great, because there's not a lot of danger in terms of privacy that we see tangibly.
Yeah, and it used to be, I mean, like, you think about, like, even going back to, like, the days the Constitution was written, right? And the fact that privacy concerns and privacy laws were critically important to the individuals in that room. That was, like, a big part of the entire writing of the Constitution. But on a daily basis, we're basically given that same decision to say, do I want this company to have access to...
unless you're Edward Snowden, then you know.
and that's a problem, right? And so it's small little bits that we give up every single day in our privacy that ultimately
Like
lead to big
password
things.
remembering.
And I mean it even in a bigger scale. What if, like, that health app you sign up for, right, that tracks your daily health outcomes gets to the point where it can track that you have now a 25% higher likelihood than the average person to get a specific type of cancer. And it tells you shouldn't eat chocolate anymore because this will cause increase in your likelihood of getting this specific cancer. And what if
And
that
your card
data
gets declined?
What if that data is
or your insurance premium goes up.
accessible by your health insurance provider, and now your premium goes up?
This is why we have HIPAA law.
or it's accessible by your employer.
There was
right?
that movie, The Island, with Ewan McGregor, where you guys seen that movie where it's a bunch of clones, and the start of the movie, or part of the movie where
Star Wars, yeah.
Yes, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That's
And then
Obi-Wan
the clones
Kenobi.
attack. Is that
Yes.
what happens?
But anyways, they're clones for harvesting organs. But anyways, the main point is when he wakes up in the morning, he takes a piss in the toilet. It says certain levels of elevated sodium, whatever, and his food choices for that day have been declined to like healthier choices. So like he can't eat bacon, all because he took a piss in the toilet and it came
And
back.
it said that you have a higher likelihood of something happening
Interesting.
in the
Yes.
future.
And again, the reason why they do that is because being harvested for organs. He just doesn't know that yet. So no. It's an old movie, so if you're mad about spoilers, you can go
Well,
F off.
and that was a cautionary tale 20 years ago in a sci-fi movie, right? But we're trending in that direction in many ways, right? And so to your point, yes, there are laws on the books that prevent privacy.
And I think privacy is something that's we're still, I mean, especially on the cybersecurity side, as consumers, right? The .com boom was like, even before that's like, don't put your information on the internet because you don't know who you're talking to. Now we have your face, your phone number, your address, your family, who you're related to. Like that whole, you ever heard of the law of 6 degrees? Right? Have you heard of the law of 6 degrees?
Where
6 degrees of separation
6 degrees separation or
from
so
Kevin Bacon.
No,
No. The law of 6 degrees is you have a relationship with 6 people. I can touch somebody within 6 people. So it's like
yes, Kevin Bacon.
yeah.
Around the whole world, right?
Whole world,
That's the premise of it.
So it's like I have a relationship with you, and then someone else has a relationship with somebody else. Within 6 people, I can be associated with
Somebody in Belgium.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? Or I can be associated with Joe Biden or Trump or We can, like within 6 people,
Elon
you
Musk.
can have that Elon Musk.
I
yeah.
know someone that
So-
knows someone that knows
Knows
him
somebody,
directly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this privacy that we've kind of eroded because we don't have we're just putting all information out there. Now everyone has this connection. The world's big, but it's smaller because of technology.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
this
scary.
leads a little bit back to the Web 2 conversation we
Oh,
had
yeah,
and Web 3,
definitely.
right?
Yep.
Because it's scary because now you only have this handful of aggregators of data that have all of this raw data, which means that it's not even like the individuals there would be nefarious in how they use that data, but it's
It's
the
who they
fact
sell
that
it to.
it's the fact that that
Mhm.
algorithm has a life of its own now, right? So like Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook's algorithm, when
they
they
don't
plug
even
it
know how it
in,
works anymore.
it just moves on its own, right? And so there's not a conscious person that's saying, "Oh, share this or don't share this or this should get widespread." It's just happening.
Well,
right?
Yes.
well, no, they
the
they
social
do
dilemma.
they do play with the algorithm in the way to showcase certain things. So no, they do adjust
well, okay,
it 100%. It doesn't just run free.
No, I understand that, right? But what I'm saying is that the algorithm takes on a life of its own when it's programmed to do certain things. And when those certain things make it act, right?
So
There's not an individual
so,
that's necessarily
for
has that.
example, the algorithm for TikTok in the United States is totally different from the algorithm of
Correct.
TikTok in China.
Sure.
The type of content that is shown in China compared to the type of content is like a night and day difference. This one is designed to ideally to degrade civilization.
To
Yeah.
occupy. Well, I mean, the business model of
It's entertainment.
of almost all social media platforms right now is just to occupy and to keep attention.
Yeah.
That's how
I
they
heard
make their
somebody
money.
say if the product is free, you are the product.
Yes.
Oh right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your eyeballs the product because that's how they make their money off of advertisement.
Yeah.
Swipe, 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 ad, swipe, ad, swipe, swipe, swipe.
And I guess
ad.
and so I guess if we're talking about the dark side of algorithms, that's really kind of it, because whatever they can keep your attention with, whether it's positive or toxic, they're going to show it.
Have
to
you watched The Social Dilemma?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole
That's
concept, right?
exactly
Like it's kind of the same thing. It's like I have your attention, and
Well,
that's just how
and-
they make their money
And the
off
point
of your
I would
IDs.
make is HIPAA is something to protect your health privacy, right? Having said that, the laws don't keep up with how fast
And this is
digital's
what like
moved in the last
GDP's
10
coming
years.
out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's for the UK
Yeah.
is taking it, but it's definitely coming
Or
over
Apple
here.
Apple
Takes-
fighting with Facebook on privacy
Yep,
and Apple
protecting your emails.
Facebook hates Apple. But on that instance, it's the data that you have. Yes, you are the product. At the end of the day, it's how that data is used and how is it going to be capitalized on. So it's monetizing that data. So I like to bring up an example of dating, like dating apps. Dating apps have gotten really good at monetizing loneliness. Their best intention is not to actually match you with people now.
Nope.
Because now when Tinder first came out, where it was free and everyone loved it, you were connecting left and right. I remember getting Tinder when it first started. It was pretty easy to use and got a ton of conversations. Some were great, some were not, whatever. And over the time, obviously, as investors wanted actually money, they started adding a payment service for it. So
there's
they
4 tiers on it.
they
now or
made the
something.
free service worse, so everyone was accustomed to something that was really good and like nice to now, in order to get the same level of like quality service that you wanted, you had to now pay for it.
Freemium software.
So that was just the first layer. Now they've gotten really good at getting the guy who's the most lonely to pay the most amount of money. And actually, they've been sued by the SEC for this. They actually have different pay structures for their service based on your age and gender, which is against the law.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and they still kind of do it. So, like, someone who's over the age of 30 will pay $34.99 for Tinder for whatever service, versus the 18-year-old guy will pay $9.99, because it's like they
For
know
access to the same features.
for the same features,
Wow.
knowing
I didn't know that. That's
that
crazy.
person is willing to pay more. Obviously, there's more guys on Tinder than are female. It outweighs that, so they use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
And people were so used to like this service that was so great, they do that. Another thing they do is they make fake profiles and they match them with you, but they hide them, so you have to pay to unlock them. And then you connect with them, but you realize no one ever responds back because they're fake. They're either fake profiles or they're outdated profiles. And then, of course, your profile also has a score.
Oh, you can tell too by the fake ones. You're just like, oh, that's a doll,
So-
doll,
and-
doll.
It's a match. I think it's called the Match Group. the Match Group owns the vast majority of all dating apps.
Hmm.
So they own like Match.com, they own Tinder, they own Hinge.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, Cupid, Plenty of Fish,
Interesting.
and the same
makes
business
sense.
practices are all. Bumble is a funny story behind. Well, not funny, but the female exec who was on Tinder filed sexual accusations against the founders of Tinder. They settled out.
And
She started Bumble,
she created
which is not
Bumble.
part of the Match Group,
Yeah.
but it's the same philosophy.
Yeah.
But if you log into, I know you haven't because you're married, and I don't know what you do, but when you download a dating app, when you
Yep.
first download, it's like great for the first like week or so, and then you
know,
realize,
those dopamine kicks. You're like,
Oh,
I got
yeah.
like 9
Oh, yeah.
matches.
and then the
yeah.
matches just go like drop off the face of the cliff,
and the quality of
the quality.
potentials, Yeah.
like the person you're seeing, and it's just like, no offense to that person, but this is not who I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But if you want to get that type of person, and
You
for
have
your
to pay.
profile to be seen, you have to pay. But your profile has a score. So if you more like a Giga Chad or Tyrone, you have a higher score because more females are swiping right on you. But if you're a type of guy that's not like overly attractive, whatever,
Dad bod.
yeah, or you're holding a bass fish up in as your main profile, whatever. If you're swiped left a lot, you have a lower score, and your profile is way less likely. And they're the ones that most to have you spend money, and that's the vast majority of people on that platform.
Interesting.
So your data is used against you, and they monetize loneliness really well. So if you want to find a relationship, don't use those platforms.
Go to a bar. Do it the old school way.
I don't recommend a bar, but you could. It's just
Depends on what you're looking for.
ideally, not to have this whole conversation segue. If you want to find a relationship, my opinion is you do it through a friend group that knows someone. That's usually the best way.
That's the quality way.
That's the quality way.
Yeah.
But anyways, using the algorithm, and that algorithm is being used against you. And again, it was a free service. You are the product, because if you think about it, it's not in their best interest to get you to find someone to marry.
Yeah. It's in
Oh,
their
yeah,
best
it's
interest
to get you to keep paying the monthly subscription.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's
their-
entertainment at the end of the day.
the end goal is to have enough of a carrot in front of you to get another payment.
It's that
Yeah.
small dopamine hit
Interesting.
that you get.
Swipe.
Because
swipe,
yeah,
swipe. Ding,
if
match.
if you get what you want on that platform, you never use that again.
Yep.
Exactly.
There was one. I think there was. I remember seeing an ad for one.
Hinge was doing that, which was our goal is to get you to delete the app.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
their
yeah.
marketing.
Bull.
Which I mean, it's good marketing, right?
Good marketing. Yeah.
Because everybody sees that.
I will
right?
say you tend to have. I've had better connections on Hinge versus the other apps.
Yeah.
But I've noticed I've deleted them all. They've just gotten it's fallen down the same track as Tinder. You're gonna have to
And
pay
just
money.
the people that are on there,
Yeah.
especially at our age.
Anyways,
So, but again, using the algorithm against you and monetizing that. So you are the product, but at the end of the day, they figured out how to monetize the loneliness, and they figure out the algorithm how to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think the biggest dating apps, social media, right? Any of these platforms that exist on these algorithms that are almost out of the control of the creators now, right? And that's the point I'm making, right?
Oh, of
Is
course.
there are metrics. Sure, there are formulas that they've put into place with various variables, right? But the end result is unpredictable because of the complexity of it now, and the end result is things that Facebook has been dealing with and other platforms
Yeah.
like this have been dealing with, where it's unintended consequences of something that seems to be a foolproof
Right.
formula,
So-
right?
Yeah, because Facebook got into some trouble because there were accusations, and I don't know whether I don't know what is true and what's not
It's
true.
probably true.
But there was accusations that they were putting forward, and their algorithm was pushing the insurrection
Oh,
footage
sure.
and live
Yeah,
streams.
Yeah. Well, and
That they were pushing that forward
of
because
course
they
it would
wanted
be,
attention.
right? Of
But,
course it would be.
But yeah,
and
an
that's
algorithm
the way
would
the
be.
algorithm is deciding.
It's an algorithm out of control because that's. I mean, looking at the politics of Facebook. That's definitely not what they would want to push forward.
Yeah, exactly. And
right?
but see, the algorithm doesn't have like a moral character, right? The
Right,
algorithm doesn't
exactly.
have a legal
The
or
person,
like ethical.
the person behind the algorithm has that.
But my point, Ryan, would be they literally
That happened
do
too
not
quick.
understand the consequences
Right.
of
So
that
how
algorithm.
how it works in the engineering side is it has the set of variables, your engagement, so number of comments, replies, likes, dislikes. When they got rid of dislikes, the length of the post, shares, and those all get scores. And then after that, what you also like and who your friend group is.
Yep.
So again, back to the social dilemma, you become siloed with the information you consume.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I hate that about YouTube, right?
Oh, sure.
So
Using
YouTube has a
cognitive-
very significant place in my heart because like I was working at Starbucks
YouTube University.
I was making like I think $17,000 a year. Found out my wife was pregnant, and like YouTube is what taught me how to start a business, and I just like gorged information for like a full year and a half, and like taught myself a whole profession and skill set.
Mhm.
And but now when I'm on YouTube, like I wish that there are things that do get my attention and I will watch if I see them, but it's not really what I want to go to YouTube for. It's just like they're taking advantage of this ADD kid.
To spend
And
more
I would
time on
so
the
much
platform.
I would so much rather go on YouTube and see the things that that I subscribe to, but I don't see any of my things I subscribe to. And now I spend very little time on YouTube anymore because like
See, that's funny. I like
I don't
stumbling
see the
across
things that
I have
actually-
no relationship
It's
with.
yeah.
are valuable.
I'm the complete opposite on that aspect.
I don't see, like, I'm on my YouTube. I don't see the channels I'm subscribed to. I see a lot of the content related that I watch. Yeah, golf. So like I start searching golf stuff,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
because
like,
you're not in your subscriptions.
but these are all just being promoting to subscribe. Some of these I do.
Yeah, but
subscribe to.
if I go into my subscriptions, I still see stuff that is just like out of left field.
I sometimes won't watch stuff just because the algorithm's telling me to.
Yeah.
Comes up on Netflix.
I don't-
You should watch this, and I'm like,
See, the algorithm gets me.
I'm gonna
I don't wanna
resist
watch
it.
this.
The algorithm gets me. They're like, "Oh, you want to watch this random person play a video game?" Which is the dumbest thing ever to me, but I'm sitting there doing it.
I don't know. You watch people play sports.
I hate watching sports,
Same concept, though, right? You're watching
fighting.
You're watching people play sports. Watch someone play a video game.
I will.
It's classified as a sport nowadays.
Do you
I
know
will watch
who's
a
got-
knockout montage.
Do you know who's got fantastic algorithms down to a science that is going to make them, or is currently actively making them, insane amounts of money? The sports betting apps.
Oh,
The
yeah.
sports betting apps, I mean, they know when to deliver a promo, like, down to a science, right? It's like you run out of money, and then within minutes, it's like, hey, there's a deposit promo, right? Redeposit money. 50% deposit match.
They got you, huh?
Oh, they get you. James would know about it. He's on there all the time.
Yes, that is not good. Not good.
And this is why it's important to who reads their terms and conditions and policies.
No one.
No one.
No one.
Yeah,
Right.
not a
So you can't say no, because you say no, you can't go on the app.
And then you open it, it's like 80 pages long.
Unless you want to live like Ron Swanson, right, out in the woods with no phone device. For those of you who haven't seen that Parks and Recs episode, it's a fantastic one.
But it is-
I love
but
Ron
it's
Swanson.
starting
He's
to
my
change.
favorite TV personality that I think has ever existed.
So then I guess the question is, how do you fight against that? The bad algorithm.
Yeah, it's
right?
really about mitigating the destruction of the algorithm more than it is about completely
It's either
exercising it from your life, because it's
Yeah.
impossible,
Yeah,
right?
impossible.
I mean,
And once your information's
Well,
on
it's-
there, it's there
yeah.
now. It's sold to 12 different companies, and now
Yeah.
you're everywhere.
yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I did was turn off notifications for almost everything.
Pretty much.
Almost everything.
Yeah.
That
That gives you at least a semblance of control.
semblance of
And
control.
it's not living rent free in your brain all the time.
And periodically, I delete the apps, and I'll interact with those websites by going to
Mobile.facebook.
On
Facebook.com.
Safari and
Yeah.
go to it. Yeah.
Yeah. That it provides a degree of separation. Instagram doesn't like that; they won't let you interact, but Facebook will.
Yeah. Because of all the old people that still go to the
Yeah.
they don't use the app.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Still go to
Yeah. Going to the Facebook.com.
Oh man. Well, hey, we have a quick clip I want to show relating to the algorithm. That's pretty hilarious. So to set this clip up, this is for those of you who aren't Office fans. This is great. So Michael Scott, earlier in this episode, they've rolled out a new website that's making sales, and Dwight and Michael are resisting the website, right? Resisting technology. And so they're going out, they're driving to their clients to try to win them back with gift baskets because they are going the old school sales method, right? And meanwhile, he's using his GPS to navigate them to these locations, right? Go ahead and hit play for me, Aaron.
That's not the play button.
We
no,
that's our meme.
Oh.
There we go.
Ruin that.
Proceed straight.
Well, we're 0
This
for
video is
6.
definitely gonna be copyrighted.
Last chance is the Elmhurst Country Club. Other side of the lake on the southeast side.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I thought this would work. Threw everything I had at that guy, nothing.
That's how it goes sometimes, you know. You lose everything, and everything falls apart, and eventually you die and no one remembers you.
Jeez.
Make a right turn.
Wait. No. It means bear right.
No,
Up there.
it said right. It said take a right.
No, look. It means go up to the right, bear right, over the bridge, and hook up with 307.
Make a
Where
right
did you
Maybe it's
get
a
that
turn.
shortcut, Dwight. It said go to the right.
It can't mean that. There's a lake
I
there.
think it knows where it is
going. The
machine
knows. Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling.
How did you not see the lake?
Remain calm.
machine
I
He
am ready
did
for
see
this.
the lake. He was just
He
was just
the
so
machine.
Make a U-turn.
so disruptive.
Make a U-turn.
Wow.
Michael, are you okay? Swim for it. I got you. I got you.
He's literally he's like, I got you, but he's literally pulling him back into the water.
Let go. Let go of Michael. Come on.
They had one take to do this, probably.
Gotta get the basket.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
What is going on? Goofy. So goofy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the best.
good.
That's the best.
The gift basket's dumping out. Oh, that's funny.
All right, so we got a
Well, so at the end of the day, you can't really avoid it unless you really go off the grid and you don't have a cell phone.
yeah.
And you are some the mountain man, I guess.
It's like trying to avoid processed foods.
Yeah.
Just
It's
shop.
very difficult.
shop
It's
the outside-
doable.
shop
It's
the outside
doable,
aisle.
but like, yeah, there's a big part of society that you're missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta shop the outside aisles. Don't shop inside aisles.
What?
To avoid processed foods.
Oh,
So all the
I thought-
process in the middle, but like the natural
the
stuff's
outside
on the
aisles.
outside, right?
Pretty much.
No, that's good. You buy that head of lettuce and then let it rot in the back of your fridge, and then you
Well,
do it again the next week.
It's
Yeah.
how do you shop at Whole Foods? If you want to not like waste money, you only buy the things that are on the circle on the outside, because everything else that's in the middle is way overpriced, and you can buy it Kroger.
Overpriced, sugar.
Same exact
Yep.
brand.
Crap.
At a buddy of mine,
The thing with Whole Foods though is on the outside it's also overpriced. So I
well,
mean,
that too.
That's just Whole Foods.
But fun story. I had a buddy of mine, Gons. He would only eat food from Whole Foods, even though you can buy the same damn brand of stuff from here. But he would only eat it because it's from Whole Foods. Therefore, it means it's healthier.
Brand
like, dude,
awareness, man. Brand
it's just-
loyalty.
I'm
You
like,
know
dude,
what? It's easier sometimes to just like stop making a decision and just trust, right?
well, yeah,
it's easy. That's what we're literally
that's
doing.
what marketing does.
That's what we're literally doing with
Algorithms running
yeah.
our lives.
It's just let me do it.
Well, so I had a friend of a friend that I was talking to that has one of these health watches, right? You know, but he takes it to the next level because it's not just like how many steps you're getting, right? It's like, I mean, this app tracks. I don't even remember the name
It's
of
like
the
an
app.
EKG.
It tracks like
heart,
your blood alcohol
oxygen.
content
Yep.
from like the day before, and then how it impacted your sleep, and then all these different things. And I was like, man, this is intense, dude. He's like, oh yeah, like it's changed my life. And I was like, it seems like you're just like carrying around like guilt on your wrist all the time. It's judging you like the next day. Well, you got 25% worse sleep than the night before, and all these factors into it, and you shouldn't do that today.
Yeah.
Do it 4
I
days
see
in a
the
row.
I see the value in something. I see the value in something like that, but it does open you up. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I mean, if used properly. Of
Well, I
course,
mean,
without malintent.
Well, the whole idea of that is like to stop ignoring the things that we ignore. Like none of us woke up this morning and was like, I'm really worried about the killings in Darfur. Like none of us did that because we block things that we don't want to think about out of our brains, whether we know that they're going on or not.
Sure.
Like we don't think about that because it would psychologically crush you, and so we repeat that pattern like quite a bit. And so I see the value of like knowing, like having a constant reminder of things that we shouldn't be ignoring.
Yeah.
But
then you're also opening yourself up to hypochondria, right? It's like, oh man, like because of my actions today, I'm 3% more likely to get cancer. Right? what happens when that's what the device is telling you all the time? How does it affect your psyche?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh man, that's something.
Food for
We're all
thought.
going to be there in a few years. That's what we're all going to have.
Speaking of the algorithm, this goes in our segue to our Shark Tank review, because this is health related. This is testing and data.
Yeah, giving your whole entire DNA sample to some company.
Like
Let's talk about it.
Like 23andMe.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah, my dad had a conspiracy theory saying that the cotton swabs for COVID was the government taking your DNA and putting it in.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
I
it
won't-
also
I won't be
implants
able
with
to.
the 5G chip.
When we,
Yeah.
By the way, when we use those words, the
Algorithm.
the virus that shall not be named, and anything that starts comes
Oh
with
yeah,
the start
that flags
R.
our video.
It flags our video and makes it much more difficult to run
publish.
ads, to do an ad to
So
promote
we should
this
probably
channel.
beep that out. Is what we should do.
So, all right, if you want to bring up this is a company called Everlywell. I've done this before. I've done a few tests with them. This is their vitamin D test, but this is just their Shark Tank pitch. It's like a summed up version and then like the
Just the one that
aftermath.
you did with the gut check.
No, that was different. That was Viome. Viome, where you submit a stool sample, but it gives you a whole breakdown of what your gut biome is.
Yeah, what foods you shouldn't eat.
And then I have a custom vitamin I take. It's like a bunch of you send in a blood sample, and it literally you get like 60 days worth of daily vitamins made exactly for what your body needs to a precise measurement. Because usually when most humans or Americans are taking vitamins, they're overtaking so much stuff, and Americans have the most
Shotgunning it.
Americans have the most expensive urine in the world because they're just pissing out
Vitamins.
all the vitamins. This is designed to be exactly what your body needs. So, but this is not it.
100% trust in the algorithm.
He's got it.
100%.
He's got that trust.
You buy golf balls based on an algorithm,
Yeah,
And there's a big difference in golf balls, man.
and it doesn't make a difference to your game.
One's more aerodynamic and has better dimples than the other ones.
yes. Very true. Very true.
Backed you up, James. You're welcome.
Hasn't improved at all. Oh, keep going back.
Hi, Sharks. My name is Julia Cheek, and I'm from Austin, Texas. My company is Everlywell, and I'm seeking $1 million in exchange for 5% equity.
Wow.
Everlywell is
said,
transforming
"Here we
lab
go."
testing, a $25 billion market, to be simple, convenient, and useful for you. I started Everlywell because I had a really common problem. I spent months trying to figure out a very basic hormone imbalance. I went to a lot of doctors who ran a lot of tests, which took a lot of time and cost me a lot of money in unexpected lab bills. All I received was a bunch of this paper with numbers, which I spent weeks researching on my own with no help. I thought there had to be a better way. And that's why we built Everlywell. Everlywell provides convenient, at-home lab tests with results you can actually understand and use. The process is simple. Purchase a kit on our website, where we have everything from food intolerance to metabolism testing. Collect your sample at your convenience at home and send it back to one of our certified and accurate partner labs. Board-certified physicians review and approve your results, and in just a few days, you get your results in your inbox and online on our secure platform. So Sharks, who wants to test the waters with Everlywell?
Pause it real quick.
Let's do. I'd like to test my.
What do you guys think?
I think just like dating apps are capitalizing on lonely men, right? This is capitalizing on hypochondriacs. And they're testing out how many hypochondriacs exist and then how many more can we create.
But if you think about it, it does make it easier for someone to actually care about their health.
I get it.
anywhere.
If you have
Yeah.
a very specific situation that you feel like you need.
But not even that, but how often people get blood work done. rarely.
Yeah.
No, true.
Like,
true.
One reason, like a lot of people have a lower balance of vitamin D in their blood, and that makes you susceptible to more viruses. So this is one thing that most people don't bother to watch. This has made it a little bit more cost effective versus usually when you think you get blood work done, you have to go to some doctor's office, LabCorp, and
That's
insurance, and it's very
totally fair
and
point.
it's more. There's a lot of factors or gates up front that are blocking you.
My only argument would be their best customers, right? The ones they
yes,
make the most from.
Yes, the people they're making they're paying their checks.
Yeah.
I have a headache. I must be dying. I must do
exactly.
this. Go ahead and hit play.
Like cholesterol right now.
Can you do it not in real time?
It requires a
No.
lab, yeah.
How do I get the test? I go to your website.
So currently we have 13 different tests, all available only on our website today.
How much do they cost?
They range from anywhere from $69 to $399.
How much cheaper is that than going to the doctor?
It's generally cheaper to use our test. For example,
By 10%, 50%?
It very much depends on your insurance.
So, Julia, it's not covered by insurance.
Today, we entered the market to get traction by being cash pay only. We are not in network with insurance providers yet.
Have you proven this out? Do you have revenue? Do you have consumers?
We launched in beta last summer. In less than a year, we have sold $2.5 million of product.
Wow.
And we're on a $400,000 a month run rate. We've grown 20% on average month over month.
Sales this year are $5 million.
Yes.
Next year?
12.3. This is a really hot space. There is a lot of opportunity both for acquisition from either traditional diagnostics companies or from genomics
Julia,
companies.
your challenge is competition. It is a race right now. It's going to take a lot more money. There's going to be a ton of competition in this space. And so for those reasons, I'm out.
Okay.
That was quick.
I think what scares me about your business is I think it's going to take constant redevelopment, and you're going to need a lot of money that I'm not willing to give.
This is going to be Robert's thing, right?
As Mark said, it's a race, and you got to raise more money. It's not for me. I'm out.
Okay.
I think the $1 million that
I have no idea.
I don't know this guy, but
I'm happy to give you would be diluted rapidly because this is going to take tens of millions to get to the promised land. So for that reason, unfortunately, I'm out.
So she gave herself a $20 million
I would like to
valuation.
take a flyer on you. So I'm going to be a little creative here.
Okay.
How about I give you $1 million line of credit, 8% interest for the 5%. And then I'll bring all the marketing savvy and the retail and everything that I know I can do.
We actually desperately need a line of credit.
Oh.
So I know that I'm technically supposed to counter, but
You're allowed to say
I would
yes.
love to do a deal with you, Lori, if you want to do it. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Well done, Julia. Really needed fast.
Let's see how Everlywell
is doing
now. How's it going? This is the
Shark Tank put Everlywell on the map, and now we're transforming healthcare in America. When I pitched on Shark Tank, I had done $2.5 million in sales. In just 2 years since Shark Tank, Everlywell has done $65 million in sales.
So,
Everlywell
Mark
kits
Cuban
are now
knows the
available
guys.
in over 2,000 stores at major brands like Target and CVS. With all this growth, we've decided to invest in a major rebrand, and Lori's coming by to weigh in on some of the potential changes.
I like this one because there's a heart, which to me symbolizes health.
What agency
I
got
love
that?
health and wellness. So when Julia came into the Shark
Something else
Tank
that
with
she has.
in-home testing, and she was
it's
so
obviously been
credible and so
changed
smart,
again,
I said, I'm in.
'cause
We're
that's
excited
not
to get
what
this
I
out
see
into the
here.
world. Well, the world's loving it so far. Yes. I think Everlywell is on track to become one of my top success stories in Shark Tank history. When Julia hit 65 million in sales, it took my Shark Tank family past a huge milestone that we are super excited about. I have a big surprise for you. Really? I do. My Shark Tank investments have collectively done $1 billion in retail sales.
Not too shabby. So, obviously, we can't do the vitamin D test here.
Darn.
I'm going to stick myself with the thing. But one of you guys could definitely, you scan the QR code, and then you simply fill out all this stuff, and it's all just like you would see at a lab. It's all
Packaging's pretty nice there.
yeah, and then you ship it back. The prepaid label is here.
That's interesting. I just got a doctor order for getting blood work done.
So the prepaid label.
Yeah, I get blood work done too, actually.
And then I think it's like a week or so, maybe I think it's about 2 weeks. That's what it took for mine later. you get results to your app or online, and then you can view your results. And it tells you if you're an acceptable, and obviously I'm an acceptable for vitamin D for that time. So, but it's something you should always monitor, especially guys if you're over age 30.
Should buy another test then to monitor it, and then do that like every month.
Well, because you don't
They
always
have a subscription model.
No.
Okay.
Because you don't stay the same. Your lifestyle changes
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
eat.
yeah.
So if the way you're responding to that, I think you should do this the most because you probably have the worst vitamin D results.
So
because
I
you're
would
one.
definitely say
So my point would be,
besides summer when he's outside playing golf.
my point would be that if you have the human body is complex, right? So judging anything from one specific thing, right? Like this still doesn't give you a.
There's hundreds of other tests you could do.
Sure. I get it.
And that's
I get it.
$40
I think
that I just gave you.
I think if you were looking at it from the perspective of like, okay, taking a less critical perspective than I've taken so far, right, or cynical perspective. If you have a very specific need and you need blood work for a very specific thing, right, or you're very concerned about your cholesterol, I think this makes a ton of sense. I get it, right? I don't think it replaces
your insurance.
Because here's the thing: is if you did that and it was low, then I would recommend you go to a doctor and get
sure, and I don't think it replaces,
But that saves the cost of dinging your insurance and all
yeah,
that stuff.
totally.
But definitely, if you're over the age of 30, every guy should have his testosterone checked.
Yeah. So
Have you done that?
And that's a fair point, right? So all of these things are great, but my point would be when this takes over your life, where like this is what you're thinking about all the time.
Oh,
right?
I'm not thinking about that all the time.
And bring it full circle to the algorithm conversation, right? This right here will eventually be integrated to our tech, and already is to some degree.
He has an app
right?
for
It is exactly right. And so when this dominates your thinking almost every day, right? Where do we draw the line, right? Where do we say, like, we're no longer enjoying our day-to-day existence because we're so worried about all of these
Well, I think that would
details in
actually
our
go
health?
back on, like, evolution of technology itself. I mean, but algorithm aside, it's like when the phones first started coming out, I was like, oh, everyone's going to stare at their phones. That's the same thing that they said about newspapers. Everyone's going to stare at their newspapers, and we've adopted as a society. It's the same thing. Like, you have the watch.
Exactly.
It just becomes a way of your
Totally.
life, right?
But that's become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is like we do
Well,
look at our phones and rates of depression and mental illness are at their peaks, right?
because of how it's been developed. Now, just the utilization of just calling somebody or messaging, the actual utilization of the phone itself, not the apps.
Here's
right?
what I'll say about this. If you want to be, if you're wanting to be health conscious, I think they made an easier way to do it. Because it is a frustrating process to go through the doctor because you're going to have to pay for your doctor visit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to wait for like 3 hours.
You have to wait for that, and then you don't even get it done there.
You have to go to a lab.
Then you have to go to a lab, and
Which
then
you have to fast for.
and then which then the lab doesn't send you the results; they send it to the doctor.
Yep.
Who, depending on how they work, they will either call you with the results to explain them to you, which is nice, or they'll sorry, drawing a blank.
Portal?
No. They'll have you come in again, which again costs money.
Interesting.
So
I used
all of which
I don't
with,
know.
with
I'm
no
probably gonna do
advertising.
this.
Yeah, no advertising to the rates of any of this, right?
Well,
so
which is interesting.
at least in this, you know what you're getting, you know what you're paying, right?
Yeah.
You know that this is worth this much, and I'm paying $69.99 for
But like they
vitamin
also
D
have
test.
a lot of STD tests on there. So if you're more
Hey,
cautious
that's-
about privacy,
that's a fair
and
point.
don't-
Yeah.
If you're paying cash from beginning to end on the doctor visits and everything, I pay cash for everything. It's
we got to talk about this. We got to change that. We need to get you a credit card.
It's great. I'm part of a health co-op. It's awesome.
Oh, you mean health? I think so. You pay cash for like everything that you buy.
Oh no.
No.
No,
I took that wrong.
so your total cost is somewhere around $500 to get
God, I love
4 to
TRICARE.
5 tests done, 4 or 5 blood work tests done. So
that was
that's
$40.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see it.
You can go to CVS and get them. I just bought this one off Amazon.
Just serve your country for several years and all that's free.
But now you have to go through the VA.
No, I don't. All mine's on TRICARE East, man.
Hey, I grew up on
just-
TRICARE.
I just
as
submit
a-
my shit. Like I gotta get labs and I haven't paid anything. I
As a
haven't paid
military
pill
brat,
out.
I grew up on that.
Just
Yes,
sign your soul away to the U.S. government, and then you get all your healthcare needs met.
Sign up for that algorithm.
Yeah. Jesus.
All right, we have a meme to wrap up
Yes,
here.
this is the meme review. It has nothing to do with what we talked about.
It's the
I
antithesis.
saw Darth Vader in there. Or oh no, what in the
9
world?
conversational tricks to make people think you are cool.
Oh.
Cool and Theoden, King of Rohan.
Yes.
Instead of saying, have we met, saying, I know your face. What happened? How did it come to this? Hopefully you've seen Lord of the Rings, but talk like this, you'd be more...
I'm beat. My body is broken.
I'll keep this in mind when I go LARPing next week.
What's the point? What can men do against such reckless hate?
We live in a society. Alas, these evil days should be mine.
The most depressing character in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Well, this is the rise of the algorithm. Alas, these evil days should be mine. Full circle.
Thanks again for tuning into the Think Fresh Move Forward podcast. We'll see everyone in probably like 2 weeks. Usually we say a week, but you're going to be out of town. We'll figure out the next episode. It's probably going to be about product packaging. So
for all of you that are hanging
out
waiting
to the last
for that,
minute,
waiting in anticipation of our next episode. The
Yes.
5 of
We
you
need to do
that are out
the
there.
Ryan Reynolds at the end of the movie. Like, oh, you're still here.
Oh.
You're still here. Wow.
Thanks again for tuning in.